November is a month in which things happen. The weather changes, the lights go up on the Magnificent Mile, the darkness comes a little bit sooner. But for this year's Chicago Wolves squad, it was about what didn't happen. They didn't convert on the power play. They didn't put points on the scoreboard. They didn't have any life left in the final frame. They didn't win games.
You know, it's one of the things of this team is that we get very nervous and we get very, you know, it seems like we get a little bit off our game in those times when the pressure is at its most. And they're learning. It's steps. We're seeing steps. We've changed some stuff a little bit. System-wise, at how we wanted to do things, we've backed off a little bit on our aggressiveness. Hopefully that allows us to be in position, not to sort of have outnumbered situations or be in a situation where we're, you know, giving up goals, like you said, that ties games or lose games. So that's why it's still a learning league. That's what this league is about, and you know, we got guys that have to learn how to play under pressure when you have a lead, and that's a big part of hockey.
Guys will get rid of pucks quicker than they should. You know, they can hold on to it longer, or they don't have to ice the puck, and they do. And it's just like they get in panic mode because it's like we don't want something bad to happen, and they're waiting for something bad to happen. And that's what I said about we found ways to lose, and that plays on you. It gains a momentum.
It has more to do with maybe I have to make sure I have the right personnel on the ice. As a group, we you know, have to continue to, you know, play the same style and stay on our toes and not get back on our heels. And that is a tendency to, when you go to protect, it could be an old habit, you go to protect the lead, a tendency to sit back, and all you're doing is allowing the other team to get momentum and get, you know, come at you in waves. And we've addressed that and got better at it.
Not protecting the lead wasn't the only reason the Wolves couldn't find a way to win.
Obviously, you know, you got 27, 28 bodies, and you're trying to get everybody in. The familiarity is both 5-on-5 with your lines and your defense partners. It can be thrown out of whack a little bit when you have to change the lineup. Power play is an area that gets hurt by that because one of the biggest things about a good power play is the chemistry. And so we've been trying to keep groups together. We've been trying to keep pairs together. And you know, we got one the other night and won the hockey game. We got one against Peoria and won the hockey game. So it is something that is getting better. You know, losing Mullen at the beginning of the year was a big blow to us. He was brought in to be a quarterback, be that top, you know, for the defenseman up top. But so we're trying to teach those roles to some of our other guys, whether it's Hunt or it's Connaughton. I mean, maybe it's Tanev out there, Matheson. We're trying to teach the role to some new guys that really haven't played it before. So it's all part of the process, and you know what? We're seeing good signs from it, and we're creating chances. We're not always getting rewarded. The other night in Rockford, we had 8 glorious chances on our power play and only got 1 goal, but that's all part of, you know, the execution that comes, and hopefully these guys can score when they get those chances. As a coach, you're always trying to find, you know, which has taken me a little bit with this group, to find the glue guys that, you know, you want out in the ice at key times.
Arniel needed to find a solution, needed to send a message. And so he did.
We have to hold everybody accountable about how they play. I mean, we have issues. We've got 6 veterans, so those veterans have handled that very well this year. And you know, sometimes it was just trying to rotate. Sometimes it was, you know, keeping the same 5 guys and letting them run together. But when it came to some of our younger players that, you know, felt that had been in the lineup every night, that needed to be better, that everybody had to play the same way and be accountable when it came to how they, you know, approached the games. We just didn't feel we were getting enough from them, and sometimes the best way to wake a player up or, you know, to really catch their attention is to sit them out of a game. And We did that against Peoria, and you know what? We ended up winning the hockey game, and it helps hammer that at home to the players.
It's the thing where you just have to remind guys of what makes them successful and why they are our best players and what they have to do to stay in that lineup and to be those big minute players.
We were at rock bottom, you know, and we knew what we had to do going into that game. No matter what 20 guys you're playing, we were going to work hard and come out with a win, no matter what. Everyone was going to leave it on the line. That was like a playoff game.
It was probably our most complete game of the year when we sat out our regulars that weren't performing like regulars, and I was all for it. When the coaching staff said they're going to sit these guys, I was 100% for it, because if you're not carrying your weight, there's only so much that you're given for granted, and then it came to a point where you had to make changes. And I think we proved the point short term with some of the guys, and I think at the same time the guys that got in proved their point to the coaching staff that they can play.
I mean, the guys go out and work hard every night. No one's getting complacent, no one's in their roles, and no one's coming into the room thinking that they're too good to be here and anything like that. That's not the case. It's just that when you're in a slump or when you're in a bit of a rut, you make the same mistakes over and over and over again. That's why you find yourself losing against games in the same ways over and over and over again. And it's happened to me as it's happened to everybody else in the room. But sometimes, like I say, you just need to take a step back and say, okay, I've been making mistakes. I'm being punished for it. I need to move forward. I need to be better. And that's sort of the attitude the coaches want coming out of a situation like that. If you're sitting out guys that are usually your top end players, you want them to come back a little bit upset, a little bit pissed off about it, and they want to be better, and they want to stay in that lineup.
But it wasn't enough. Sometimes the message has to come from within.
Grand Rapids looking to take their third straight against the Wolves to open up an 8th game head-to-head set this season. Midwest Division rivals.
After a gut-wrenching loss at home in early December, it did.
Sometimes it just takes the guy beside you to say, hey, look, be better. Like, you're better, be better. We need you to be better. And that's sort of what we all did in the room. Was just a minute after that game against Grand Rapids, where we came out, we were in a tight game, and we came out, had a real tough third period, and just watched the game slip out from from under us. And it was unacceptable. And we just, as a group, we all thought, this has to be, rock bottom. We can't allow these things to happen. We don't need the coaches to come in and tell us what a bad job we've done. We're embarrassed, we feel it. What's everybody thinking in here? So we all, we went around the room a little bit, whoever wanted to pipe up talked, and it was just about, like you were righting the ship. It was about just getting yourself over this little, patch of games that had been tough. We lost a few late, we've given up a lot of, goals that you really want back, and you really wish you could, have that play over again. You don't get that. So it was a matter of us sort of sitting down and saying, look, just be better. You need to be better. Find a way to be better.